The iPhone 18 Pro Max is almost here, and for the first time in what feels like half a decade, we are looking at an upgrade that actually matters. Look, I get it. We have all been feeling that upgrade fatigue. Year after year, we tune into the event, we look at the new device, and it feels like we're just paying for a new number on the box and maybe a slightly different shade of titanium. But this year the script is flipping. We are talking about a completely new chip architecture, a mechanical camera feature that literally changes the physics of how the phone takes photos, and without exaggeration, the single biggest battery Apple has ever dared to put inside a smartphone. I have been going through all your comments and messages, and the overwhelming question is simple. Is the iPhone 18 Pro Max actually a massive generational leap, or is it just more marketing hype? It is a completely fair question, and today we're going to answer it with raw numbers, confirmed specs, and zero fluff. If you're new around here, my promise to you is simple. I cover confirmed Apple news and tech breakdowns every single week with no hype, just the facts. So hit that subscribe button right now, and let us dive straight into the 5 real reasons you should not wait and just buy this phone. Reason number 1, the battery life is finally getting the massive upgrade we have been begging for. For years, battery life has been the biggest bottleneck for power users. But the reports for the iPhone 18 Pro Max point to a battery capacity sitting somewhere between 5,000 and 105,200 milliamp hours. Let that sink in for a second. That is the largest physical battery Apple has ever packed into an iPhone chassis. But the size of the battery is only half of the story here. When you pair a battery that massive with the aggressively efficient new processor we are about to talk about, the projections are absolutely mind-blowing. We are seeing reports projecting well over 40 hours of real-world, heavy usage on a single charge. 40 hours. That is not just a little bump to get you through your commute. That is literally double the endurance of some older Pro models. Think about what that actually means for your daily routine. If you're the kind of person who constantly has battery anxiety, if you're always hunting for a charger by dinner time, or if you carry around a bulky power bank every time you travel, this single upgrade completely eliminates that daily frustration. You can wake up, go to work, hit the gym, navigate with GPS, shoot 4K video, and go to sleep without ever plugging it in, and still have juice left for the next morning. Reason number 2, a camera feature that no iPhone has ever had in the history of the product line. Yes, we're still getting the massive 48-megapixel main sensor, but this year, it is expected to feature a true variable aperture. I need you to understand how huge this is. No iPhone in 18 years has ever had mechanical variable aperture. Normally, smartphone cameras have a fixed aperture. The hole that lets light in is always the exact same size, and the software has to do all the heavy lifting to fake the background blur or adjust the exposure. Not anymore. This new lens will physically open and close to change how much light hits the sensor, exactly like a professional DSLR camera lens. What does this mean for your photos? It means incredibly sharp and perfectly exposed daylight shots because the lens can physically stop down when the sun is too bright. It means significantly better background blur that is created by actual optical physics, not an AI software algorithm that accidentally blurs out your hair. It completely solves that annoying overexposure when you try to take a picture of someone standing in front of a bright window. The front-facing camera is also taking a massive leap to 24 megapixels with a brand new sensor supplier for the very first time. Your FaceTimes, your selfies, your vlogs, they're all going to look incredibly crisp. This is not a software tweak. It is the biggest physical camera hardware change in multiple generations. Reason number 3. The chip inside this thing is the first 2nm processor Apple has ever shipped. We're talking about the A20 Pro. Every single iPhone chip since the iPhone 15 Pro in 2023 has been built on a 3nm process. We have been stuck there for years. The A20 Pro is the first real, tangible jump in silicon architecture since then, moving down to a 2nm process. Now, I will not bore you with a computer science lecture, but here is what you actually need to know. This chip uses something called gate-all-around transistors. It is a completely different physical shape for the microscopic transistors inside the phone, engineered entirely for extreme power efficiency. Current reports are pointing to roughly a 30% improvement in power efficiency while maintaining the same blazing fast speeds. That means less heat when you're gaming, less battery drain when you're rendering video, and a phone that stays incredibly cool in your hand. But Apple is not stopping there. They are expected to pair this ultra-efficient chip with a massive 12 gigabytes of RAM, up from the standard 8 gigabytes. Why does that matter? Apple Intelligence. With 12 gigabytes of memory and smaller, vastly superior transistors, this phone will handle complex on-device AI tasks instantly, without having to ping a cloud server. More memory, smaller transistors, and extreme efficiency. This is a true generational leap, not a standard spec bump. Reason number 4. The brightest, smartest, and most immersive screen Apple has ever engineered. Prepare yourself for a massive 6.9-inch OLED display with the buttery, smooth, 120 Hz promotion that we know and love. But the real story here is the brightness. This new panel is rated to hit up to 3,200 nits of peak brightness. If you have ever tried to text somebody back or frame up a photo while standing outside under the glaring summer sun, you know how hard it can be to see your screen. At 3,200 nits, this display is going to be noticeably and dramatically brighter outdoors than anything you have ever used before. But it is not just brighter, it is getting cleaner. The dynamic island, which we have had for a few years now, is expected to shrink by up to 35%. Apple is finally figuring out how to move some of the crucial Face ID sensors directly underneath the display itself. Think about that. You are getting more usable screen real estate, significantly less clutter at the top of your phone, and unparalleled visibility in direct sunlight. That combination alone completely changes how the phone feels in your hand every single day. You're not just looking at specs on a sheet. You're looking at a fundamentally better viewing experience. Reason number 5, and this is the one that matters significantly more than most people realize. The iPhone 18 Pro Max is the only real flagship Apple is giving us this year. Let me explain. Multiple reliable reports are stating that Apple is skipping the standard baseline iPhone 18 entirely this year. They're pushing all their chips to the center of the table. Only the Pro Max, and potentially a brand new hyper-expensive foldable iPhone are going to launch in September 2026. The regular, standard iPhone 18 and a rumored cheaper iPhone 18e are reportedly being pushed all the way back to the spring of 2027. That completely changes the buying landscape. It means if you want a brand new iPhone this fall, the Pro Max is no longer just an option for power users. It is the absolute flagship standard, full stop. Every single major breakthrough, every piece of hardware innovation, every single upgrade that Apple has developed for this entire year is being poured exclusively into this exact phone. Now, let's do a quick, honest reality check on the price. The reports right now are split down the middle. Some industry insiders are saying that Apple will hold the line and keep the starting price at $1,199, exactly where it is right now. However, other supply chain reports are expecting a price jump to around $1,299, and they are blaming the increased costs of that massive 12 gigabytes of RAM and the extremely expensive new 2-nanometer chip manufacturing process. Obviously, nothing is officially confirmed by Apple yet, but I'm going to be totally honest with you. Even if they bump the price up to the higher number, when you look at the sheer value you're getting, it absolutely still holds up. We're talking about the biggest battery ever, a mechanical variable aperture camera, a 2-nanometer chip, 12 gigs of RAM, and a 3,200 nit display. So here is the quick, honest bottom line for you. If you're currently using an iPhone 15 Pro Max or anything older than that, this is going to be a massive, completely undeniable upgrade for you. You're getting a brand new chip generation, completely overhauled camera hardware, and battery life that is going to feel like magic. Even if you're holding last year's iPhone 17 Pro Max, the mechanical camera lens and the battery improvements alone are absolutely worth considering. And if you were holding out hope for a cheaper standard iPhone this fall, the writing is on the wall. That phone is not coming until 2027. This is your flagship. Let us do a lightning, fast recap of the 5 reasons so you do not forget. 1. the biggest physical battery Apple has ever shipped, resulting in up to 40 hours of use. 2. A variable aperture camera feature that brings true optical physics to the iPhone for the first time ever. 3. The very first 2nm processor packed with 12 gigabytes of RAM for insane efficiency and AI performance. 4. A massive 6.9-inch screen that hits 3,200 nits with a 35% smaller dynamic island. And 5. It is the only true traditional flagship iPhone launching this entire year. 5 real reasons, all backed by actual hardware numbers. That is the absolute honest case for the iPhone 18 Pro Max. No marketing buzzwords, no empty hype, just the raw specs and what they actually mean for your daily life. If this deep dive helped clear things up for you, do me a favor and hit that like button right now. And make sure you are subscribed, because the moment Apple officially confirms the final price and release date, I will have the full breakdown waiting for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.